Morning, it's the 20th of August. I'm here in the beautiful city of Bath. But I'm not here to look at the Victorian architecture or the Roman spa. I'm here to do a run that involves the longest underground section of any run in Britain. Welcome to the Two Tunnels Half Marathon. Chuffed to bits. Isn't it amazing? Buns of steel and liver transplant, sand. Yeehaw!
10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Good luck, everyone.
Thanks, Marshall. Thanks, pedestrians.
After the bridge, everybody. Got one on the bridge.
So the first part of this run is on what they call the Two Tunnels Greenway, which is an old railway line that's been repurposed for sustainable transport into a running and cycling path. So one of my goals for today, as this is the first of 5 runs culminating in the Beachy Head Marathon being the 5th. This is very much a training run and I just want to get to the end uninjured. So probably try and run marathon pace, which for me is going to be 10:30 a mile. So this was the route of the old Dorset and Somerset Railway, which was closed in 1966, 1968, something like that. It was then taken over by an organisation called Sustrans, who have spent millions and turned it into this wonderful shared path. So here's the first one, 400 metres. Let's see. Oh god, more uphill. Let's see how Garmin manages. So that was the Devonshire Tunnel, just 400 metres, and the next one we're going to do, Coombe Down I think it is, that's going to be 1600 metres, 4 times the length. This is where the 5k's turn back, 10k's carry on. We now hit the tunnel. Let's see if I can get a time lapse. There we have it. That was the Coombe Down Tunnel, and we're about 2.5–3 miles in now. Wonder what's next. If you're wondering about the questionable headwear, it's to try and stop all the sweat running in my eyes. I was going to wear a cap, but it's far too hot and humid for that, so I just got a pair of scissors and snipped the bottom off one of my old buffs. I thought we'd try that for a bit. Still allows the breeze to hit my forehead, keep me cool. So we're just running past Tucking Mill Reservoir, which it just said there, year of disability, disabled engineers only, so that's interesting. We're going to see viaducts, we're going to see aqueducts. What's the difference? Well, a viaduct is a bridge that has a road going over the top, and an aqueduct is a bridge that has a river going over the top, and we'll see both of those today. Wow, it's lovely, isn't it? Just over 3.5 miles. Finally get a little bit downhill. I think we're heading towards the village of Monkton Combe. Find anyone? Thank you. Thank you. Steady on the steps. Now this is the track bed of the Bristol and North Somerset Railway. It's another railway as we come up to mile 4. Four and a half miles, feed station number 2. Thank you.
Help yourself to the buffet.
Thank you.
Electrolytes there, sir.
I'm good, thank you. Perfect. There we go. Really nicely stocked for a half marathon. I guess the marathon guys are doing this twice, they probably need that. And we're now going alongside, I think it's called the Somerset Coal Canal, which used to transport coal from the Somerset collieries to the city of Bath to keep it going during Victorian times. And it did that until one of the railways took over, which was a much quicker way of doing it. And that's the Dundas aqueduct, which carries the water. I'll try and work out what it carries, but you can see there's the bridge and here are the boats on the canal. Thank you, mate. This is where the Somerset Coal Canal that I mentioned merges with something called the Avon and Kennet Canal. Much more about that later. It's an awful lot bigger than you think. It really is very humid though. That's a nicer way to travel, isn't it? Rather than all this running nonsense. Six and a half. Halfway. Some people are having fun. Nearly 8 miles. Just had another drink at the water station. So I mentioned the Kennet and Avon Canal, and I assumed it was just a little bit of a canal near the River Avon or something. I'd never heard of the Kennet. It's actually huge. It stretches for 90 miles. And it's not just a canal, there's this part of the canal, but there's also the River Avon and the River Kennet. And they describe the navigable stretches of all of those which join together as the Kennet and Avon Canal. And it goes all the way from Bristol, Avonmouth, through Bath, and then effectively down the M4 to Reading, 90 miles that way. And it joins the River Thames. And this is one of the great waterways for moving goods back in Victorian times, early Victorian times, before the railways came in and took over. Has been a much faster way. So, I don't know if you just saw that heron. Fabulous. We're now just coming into the eastern edge of Bath. Thank you. Across the road again, back on the other side. Got a nice wood fire going there. So we're just coming up to the bit where the Kennet and Avon Canal, the canal part of it, joins the River Avon, and that takes us then right up into central Bath. So this is a lock. For those that don't know, this is how canals go up and downhill. Obviously the water stays flat. It's higher that side, the lock's down there, and it's lower this side, so the boats would come into the lock here, fill it up with water, and then they'd go out over there. And you can see there's a fleet flight, I don't know, several locks here to basically get them up this steep hill. And you open the lock gates by hand, as these people are doing.
Good running.
Thanks.
Turn left and left again.
Brilliant, thank you.
Steps here and a handrail. I'd hold the handrail.
Thank you. Thanks, Marshall. Bath Abbey was built in 1400 and something, but there have been religious buildings on that site for about 800 years earlier, back in the 1700s. There you go, the modern train and the old Avon River, ancient and modern together. This is where I came yesterday to buy me bananas. So it's going to follow the Avon now, another mile or so. You can see these buildings here, these old warehouses, multiple floors, and you'll see sticking out at the top what looks like a shed. That's what they call the crane stack, and in there was some form of crane, and the barges would put underneath, and the crane would then winch up the stuff to the top. So if it was grain or something, you'd get the grain to the top, and then it would be milled or whatever on the way down. And basically it meant you never had to carry heavy weights up. Once they got in there, they were up at the top, and they only ever needed to come down. And all these old warehouses and mill buildings, and you see the crane stack still very much kept intact, even if these have been converted into houses. Brilliant. Cheers.
You got it.
Less than half a mile to go, and they fling in another uphill section. All good training for beaching. Come on then.
Get that lovely finish line.
Well, there we are. Bottle of water, some Haribos, and a nice pop, which is rapidly becoming liquid in my fingers. So 2 hours 20 something, 2:28:09. So a little bit slower than I wanted, but so it's a pace 11:04. But do you know what, that probably is my marathon pace. That went off far too quickly, well, not far too quickly, a little bit quick, but the first 2 miles was uphill, and just, you know, feeling good at the start, you push on. And I think with hindsight that may not have been the wise thing to do, but all done, and we have a lovely eco medal with a picture of the tunnel in the back. And if you do the races, all of the ones in the series, they fit together like a jigsaw. But I'm not. This is the one. So 2 tunnels done.